Welcome back to the Think, See, Listen YouTube channel, where I give it to you raw and uncut and uncensored and unedited and completely unprofessional and authentic and honest and genuine, all for the glory of the Almighty God, in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. This video, I want to talk about some memories I have of the phenomenon we like to call gang stalking and targeted individuals. I want to tell you this story. It's a memory that actually resurfaced just recently, where I met this dude. I was very active in the local music scene, and I met this guy at a party, and he invited me out to go hang out and go to this party with him, and I'm like, sure man, heck yeah, could always use more friends. It's all before I was aware of my targeting. And we get to this, we're on the way to this party that he wants, I want to take you somewhere. I just met him, and so I went ahead and went with him. And on the way there, he's like, yo, when you get there, I'll introduce you to this guy. I want you to I want you to ask him what he does for a living, like without even saying anything else. I'm like, alright. It's like, yeah, he'll like that. So we get to this house. He's got a really nice house. He's really seems to be well off, and I remember walking into this house, and there are these really beautiful girls and some other guys talking. And they're talking about all the stuff that I researched, the Satanism, all of the symbolism and all of that. And I'm like, are you guys Christians? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, really? I've been researching all this stuff too, and I never met anybody else that's like this. And I just hit it off with all these people. And then he goes and he introduces me to this guy, and I'm like, yo, what do you do for a living? And he's like, you just ask somebody what they do for a living without saying anything else? I'm like, well, I'm sorry, man. I'm here interacting with all these awesome people, and I see that you're on another level than I am, and I'm just curious, honestly. And but there were certain people there that were like weirded out by me. There was this guy I met at the party before, and I don't remember much of this stuff. I don't remember what party, who I met these people through. But this guy, his name was John. It wasn't John. I didn't meet him as John, but everybody kept calling him John. I'm like, John? He's like, yeah, it's a thing at my church, man. I'm a Christian. I'm like, well, me too, dude. And he kind of gave me this look, and I remember him talking and being like, yeah, there's just certain people here at this party that I don't know about. And I remember him looking at me, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I have nothing but good intentions. But the guy that I was with kept on telling me to do things that would make people uncomfortable, and I don't know. I stopped doing what he said. I was kind of hitting it off with this beautiful girl, talking about all the deep things that I research and stuff, I remember talking about, like, I want to find the church that's in the Bible. And she's like, well, that's the church we go to, the Orthodox Church. And I remember that guy that invited me to this party, like, came up right at that moment, and he's like, hey Ryan, get the fuck out of here. And I'm like, really, man? Because this isn't the first time I've been invited out by somebody, and right as I'm hitting it off with somebody, they're like, hey Ryan, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, really, man? I'm sorry for swearing, but that's the way it is. Just being historically accurate. So, I'm looking at this guy, I'm looking at the girl, I'm like, you know what? Alright, dude. God bless you. I thought you were cool. I thought we were going to be friends. And I've never met anybody like these people. And you know what you're doing? Whatever, dude. God bless you. Bye. I was so hurt and mad and angry. I walked home. It was miles. Like, I've walked home miles multiple times, but I remember walking out of there. The first time I met people that thought like me as a Christian, not just like a conspiracy person, but a Christian conspiracy person. And they claim to be at the church that's in the Bible. And I remember walking home and I was screaming at God because this stuff kept happening. And it's like, I never want to think about this ever again. I'm done with this. I'm done. And I literally forgot about it until just maybe a month ago. And I remember running into that guy again. It was at a show or another party, and he came and he sat in my friend's circle, and I was just like, whatever with him, you know, I'm not gonna make a big deal. But he came up to me later, he's like, yo Ryan, I wouldn't be able to be cool with me if I was you, like after what I did to you. And I was just like, what the fuck did you do to me? I got up right in his face, and he just had this shameful look, and he walked away, and I never saw him again. That's a memory that resurfaced. And then there's another memory where I had this girl that I always liked. I don't even remember who she is, or what she looked like, or what her name was, or where I met her, or where I knew her from, but this is a memory where I had this girl that I always thought was super cute and sweet and nice, and she asked me to go out with her, and I was totally ecstatic about this. I think she asked me to go to this show with her. I don't remember what or where. And I meet her at the show. I'm like, oh, hi, how are... I tell my friends, I'm like, yo, man, I always thought this girl was super cute, man. Like, she asked me to come out and meet her here. Like, I can't believe it. And like, I don't know, we were separated because it's a big... She came over to me, and she's just like, Ryan, I can't believe you. Somebody who's really close to you, I know that you know them. They said that you said some terrible things about me. I can't even repeat them. I would never even be able to say these things. I can't believe you would say these things about me. How could you? I'm like, I would never say anything bad about you. I always liked you. I always liked you. She's like, that's what they said you would do. That's what they said you would say. I believe them over you, and I never saw her again. I don't even remember who she is, but these are memories that came back just recently. A lot of things are coming together as I tell these stories. Like, I think I'm making sense of who, with the whole my car not starting, I think the guy who called this tow truck did the thing to my car, and he called a special tow truck guy, and they brought the cops, and it was all orchestrated. Like, but you wonder where your targeting starts, because these memories are old. Like, I don't know. I don't even remember when. It must be like 2010, 9, with the girl at the show. That was like a 2009 or 10 thing. And then getting invited to the party was like 2012 or 13, I think. And like, when you learn about these psychotronic weapons and their capabilities, I think back to my suicidal depression days, and like how I had these visions beamed into me of like myself hanging from the ceiling or dead in my room with a target bag over my head, which, by the way, I'll show you something about that. Yeah, there's a vision I had. I talked about this in a previous video where during my suicidal depression I picked up, like, I started getting all these visions of me dead, and it would be like me dead in my room with a bag over my head. It was specifically a bag from the Target store, Target. I remember having the Target over my head, just dead in my, and I'm sitting on my bed, and I saw it as if it was like right next to me, like right there. I'm sitting in the cave type place. One of my little secret hiking spots. It's not my secret, but it's not very well known. So that was the one. I had the Target bag over my head. I remember walking, and it was like I saw a microwave tower, and I saw a bus coming. It was the bus that was coming right next to me, and it was like I jumped in front of it. That was another one. Or at my job, where I started working at 14 years old at a grocery store, and I was always singled out there, and I would see myself hanging like from a noose, like from the ceiling of the high ceilings. This is all after I broke the heart of my ex, like my sweetheart, 17, you know, my high school sweetheart. Her dad was like a radio network engineer for AT&T, and I broke her heart. There's a time where we met up after, like, I broke her heart, but we were still trying to be together, and they came and took her car while she was at my house, and like showed up, and he got up all in my face, all scary, and I don't know, took her in the car, and I got on the car, like in the door, and like he started driving, and like I jumped on, and he was backing up and going forward, and I kicked him in the head when he stopped, and I jumped down, like, so he might be the one. True stories. Life is like a freaking movie, man. It's crazy. Pretty cool, man. I get to tell all the stories. What's another memory that I've had of my gang stalking and targeting that's resurfaced recently? I don't know, but I'm gonna tell you this. I want to show you this. I maybe just leave it at this. I don't know what kind of freaking coincidences these are, but you remember the Target bag? I come to this super secret cool cave place, right? Oh, here, let me show you. I love to go hiking. So I'm down by the creek in the deep forest, and there's like this cave-esque thing that people made. And I come in here, and I shit you not,